Hi guys, my name is Chaos and welcome to Gaming Facts by Gameology. Today, we are going to be counting down the 10 best types of COD players. Now, Call of Duty has kind of garnered a reputation over the years for having some pretty toxic players, but that is not always the case. And today, we're going to go with the glasses half full. We are going to count down 10 types of Call of Duty players that are actually positive. And kicking off our list today is none other than the pros. Now, this has gotten better over time. It used to be really bad, but it's getting better progressively, for the most part. The professional and semi-pro Call of Duty players are very respectful and sportsmanlike and aren't afraid to talk down to people who are actually being toxic. I know a lot of them personally, not to mention the fact that having a pro-level type player on your team pretty much guarantees a win, and you can learn a ton by playing alongside them and watching how they play. So if you have aspirations to become a Call of Duty pro, you want to emulate and follow their habits and their workmanship, because that is the path to becoming a Call of Duty pro. At number 9, the objective player. Thank God for the objective players. Perhaps the most common criticism of Call of Duty, even from those who play it on the regular, is that no one plays the objective. And that is why when you join into a lobby and there are a few people busting their butts just so they can capture a flag or hold down that hard point, it makes the experience so much better. Now, there are a few things in COD that are worse than being a lone wolf objective player, so joining into a lobby with other objective players is, sometimes the best feeling in the world at that moment. The next one, the good trolls. And you say, good trolls, Chaos? Are there really good trolls? Well, yeah. With all the toxic personalities in the Call of Duty world, it's good to have some others who can balance them out and manage to bring their behavior full circle. Now, when I say the good trolls, I'm talking about people who like to engage the toxic people and dance circles around their words, causing them to just end up looking stupid until they inevitably leave the lobby or they admit defeat. These guys are the behind-the-scenes superheroes of the COD world. On the other hand, sometimes people not talking is a good thing. The silent players. This one kind of goes without saying, but sometimes you just want to play. You just want to play by yourself and not worry about people barking at you. And that is where the silent players come in. These people are probably the most common kinds of players, but that's not to say that they aren't appreciated. If it's a choice between a player yelling at each other and everybody being silent, I'm probably going to take the second option. I hope there'd be some kind of middle ground, but that's not always the case in the Call of Duty lobby, so I'm going to go with the silent players. Everybody needs a teacher, and that's it. The teacher. These are those COD veterans who have a ton of knowledge to pass down. Despite the stereotypes that COD is a mindless game, that's not true. There is a lot more strategy to it than non-COD players actually realize, such as learning positioning, choosing your fights, figuring out the spawns, optimizing your class, so on and so forth. I could go on all day. The teachers are those who are not afraid to pass on their knowledge to those who may need it and to fight the stereotypes that the series constantly gets. Everybody needs a teacher. At number 5, the defender. In many instances, you'll join into a lobby and find that people are pretty hostile to a certain person on the team. They may be picking on them or even bullying them, or maybe they're just being hostile to you. That's where the defenders come in and stick up for the lesser player and make sure that the playing field stays even. Maybe they're bashing the person's low level or their low KD, but many times there will be someone who isn't afraid to break up the commotion for the sake of the lesser player, and that is a very, very good thing for the Call of Duty community. At number 4, we have the coordinator. When you travel as a lone wolf in the world of online gaming, it can be a little frustrating when you're trying to play the objective or set up battle lines and no one seems to want to be on the same page. That is where the coordinator comes in. These are the people who get into the game. They get in the game chat. They invite you to a party so you can start communicating and move things along quickly and efficiently. Call of Duty isn't exactly a communication-heavy game like Rainbow Six Siege or CSGO, so it is common for people to join lobbies all alone. But the game gets so much better when there is actually somebody to get everybody in line and coordinate and spearhead, and that's where it starts. The coordinator gets all the lone wolves together, and then you can have some fun. How big is your backpack? If you understand that reference, then you're probably an FPS gamer. The backpackers. These guys are a peg below the pros and semi-pros in terms of skill, but for the most part, the backpackers also tend to be very respectful and non-toxic. Now, the backpackers are those people that dominate the battlefield and they destroy everyone else's score. And sure, they can be a little annoying at times when they start bashing their own teammates, but there are plenty of backpackers who don't do this. And instead, they just help their team out and accept the fact that they're not going to be as good as they are. And backpackers could also be called tryhards. They could also be called pub stompers. At number 2, we have the learner. If you have a teacher, you have to have a learner. These are those low-level players who are willing to do anything and everything that the game demands of them in order to learn the ins and outs of it. Run a rocket launcher, take out that air support. Usually when a low-level guy joins into the game, they make bonehead decisions like running out in the middle of gunfights or just sitting in corners for cheap kills. And I can't really blame them for playing that way since they're new, but then are those awesome low-level players who are constantly asking for advice or asking what they should do to get better, and they usually also play the objective super hard since they're still learning the game. It's good to see newer players who don't just sit in corners in a desperation attempt to level up. And finally, the last one today is the distraction. This is a very specific type of player who is absolutely awesome to have on your team during objective game modes. The distraction is that person who runs all the cloaking perks and suppressors on their guns and makes every effort to run behind the enemy lines and shoot them in the back, being as annoying as possible and diverting as much attention as they can from the enemy's defenses, which that allows you easier access to the objectives. This is a very fine line between being the distraction and just being an annoying person who just goes for kills and actually doesn't play the objective. But when you get a tried and true distraction player on your team, it makes playing the objective so much easier. And there you have it, my friends. Those are 10 of the best types of Call of Duty players. So now, I want to know from you in the comment section, are you any of these? Are you more than one? What type of Call of Duty player are you actually? My name is Chaos, guys. Thanks for watching this episode of Gaming Facts by Gameology, and stick around. We'll have a brand new one really soon.